Is it weird me just like holding up my shirt? Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Maryam. I am a part-time artist and a full-time scientist. And today we're going to be talking about 20 things that I unfortunately learnt in my 20s. So today I'm going to be painting this little whale that I made. He's made out of polymer clay and he has a little top hat on, which is wonderful. I always appreciate it when, a whale goes above and beyond. I've got my little reference picture here of a blue whale. They are indeed blue. Lily's here, actually. Lily, do you want to come and say hello? Hi, Lily. The camera's over there. It's over there. See? She's thrilled to be here. Okay. I'm 3 minutes in and I haven't even started. Okay. What I'm doing first, I'm going with the phthalo blue. I have a Reeves acrylic set here. I don't know if that's a good thing. I have also got titanium white, which I feel very Bob Rossy saying. My titanium white. And I'm going to put a dollop on my little art palette here and I'm gonna do my best. So let me get into the things that I've learned in my 20s. Number one, it's okay to mess up. I think messing up is a massive thing to do in your 20s, and actually it's probably one of the best things you can do in your 20s because, believe it or not, the more you mess up, the quicker you learn. I feel like this is too light of a blue, actually. That's okay, because you know why? It's okay to mess up. I feel like I'm going to be messing up for the rest of my life. The second lesson that I've learnt in my 20s is if you're in a toxic situation, do everything you can to pull yourself out of it. Your health, your abilities to function are not going to be functioning while you're in a world that does not respect you or your time or your well-being. Number 3 is really important because it gets me through a lot of my days, honestly, especially if you're like me and you have that inner critic inside of your head which is saying that you're not good enough. Those sorts of voices, those mean old little voices. What you're actually going to have to do every day is recognize how far you've come. Chances are you've come a very, very, very long way to get where you are today. Number 4, friendships will end if they're meant to. The good ones will stay if they're meant to as well. But you've also got to realise that you've got to put a lot of work into friendships. You're right, Lily. Are you okay? Just decided to leave. That's okay. That's good. That's Lily exercising her freedom of will. What becomes more difficult is actually keeping in touch with friends, and seeing them every day becomes rather difficult. So you've got to put that extra work in to maintain these friendships. Number 5 is actually a little secret that I had to learn, which is that absolutely no one knows what they're doing. And even if it looks like they know what they're doing on social media, they're posting, they're doing well, they're going into new companies, they've got accepted into a dream university, all of these things, honestly no one knows what they're doing. And even in the slightest of chances that they do, they can change their mind at any point. You've just got to give yourself that space to be able to do whatever you want to do. So don't be threatened by others. Just stay on your little lane. Stay in your journey. Don't look left, don't look right. It's going to be absolutely fine. Number 6 is quite similar to 5, which is make room for your dreams to change. I used to think I wanted to be one kind of person when I was younger. I think I wanted to be a teacher. And I've realised since then that I'm not very good at teaching. And then I found science and I realised perhaps teaching is not really for me. Perhaps I want to be somewhere else. Don't tie yourself down with a dream that you once had, because you probably had that dream when you're far less aware of the world. And it's completely fine for dreams to change, and for you to change as well. Number 7, listen to your gut. Always listen to your gut. Your gut somehow knows exactly what you need. And I'm sure there's a whole lot of neuroscience behind it, because, the enteric nervous system, which is all of the nerves and neurons inside of your gut, is sometimes argued to be its own brain, which is somewhat terrifying. Always listen to your gut. It will always tell you when something's not right, especially when it's not right for you. Number 8 is your body will tell you what's not right for you as well. If you've ever heard the saying, the body keeps the score, it's completely correct. Several years back, I was not in a good place with someone, and I think from the first week that I met them, I started getting quite bad chest pains, like a heaviness on my chest. And I went to doctors. No one could quite, pinpoint where that pain was coming from. And it lasted the year that I knew that person. I was going through this whole year, every single day, waking up with chest pains. The 2 days after they left, like that, my chest pain stopped. And since then, I've told myself I'm never going to ignore any kind of sign that my body gives me ever again. You've got to be your own advocate. You've got to say, I'm not in this anymore. Deal with yourself. And people are accountable for their own feelings. So number 9 might be a little controversial, but hear me out. You do not necessarily need an education to be successful. However, you do need to absolutely continue to educate yourself. If that's not in an institution, you've got to keep reading. You've got to keep yourself aware of global situations, of what's happening in the world, what your rights are, because knowledge is absolutely power. Knowledge has always been power, and don't let anyone take that power away from you. So number 10 is you're going to disappoint your parents, or you're going to disappoint yourself. And maybe the nicest thing or the worst thing about this is that you get to choose which one you get to live with for the rest of your life. So number 11 is what you do in your 20s is not necessarily going to dictate the rest of your life, what you do in the rest of your life, but if you're making a big decision, like, do your research. It's always nice going into any situation with an idea of how it would turn out. So turn up prepared to life. So number 12 is be mindful of whose opinions matter, because everyone is going to want to offer you one of those, and you shouldn't necessarily be listening to all of them. And don't let you convince yourself that everyone's opinion matters, because honestly, they don't. You just do you, and you're there for the lesson, and it's your life. No one understands your life better than yourself. Number 13 is don't be afraid to make career choices based on salary. I don't know why, but I seem to internalize as a child that if I wanted to do a job solely because I wanted the money that came out of it, that I was automatically a bad person. I don't know if anyone else feels this way. Let me know if you feel this way. Pull yourself out of the mindset that wanting money is a bad thing, because it really isn't. Like, I've had to live through, student times and being a postdoc on very little salary, where you're skipping meals because the economic climate. And if making money is something that you want to do, don't compromise your ethics, but go for it. Number 14 is a big one. Honestly, this one took me a while to learn, but it is say no when you need to. People prefer honesty, really, truly, Like, if you can't do something, just tell them, because people will expect things to be done. And if they're not done, well, you're somewhat to blame for that, especially if it's for your mental well-being or if you're overwhelmed. Like, you know, living's not easy. So you've really just got to cut yourself some slack and learn to say no. If anyone gets upset at you saying no, probably reconsider your boundaries with that person. Number 15 is not everyone will have your best interests at heart. Even people that you think are automatically supposed to have your best interests at heart. I would take everything that you hear with a pinch of salt and really learn to understand what works best for you, what doesn't work best for you. Be mindful, you know, of what makes you feel joy, what makes you feel anxious. Number 16 is don't let fear stop you from doing things, just generally everything. Fear is a good feeling to have. It can be a very strengthening feeling and very protective feeling as well, but don't let it drive you. You know that old saying, which is bravery is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Number 17 is quite simple, and that is that love is always the answer. However, you've got to learn when to turn love into mercy as well. Number 18 is happy relationships don't involve changing for someone. You can only be someone else for so long until it drives you absolutely mad. Someone who loves you, like properly loves you, will love every bit of you. All the fun that you're going to have as well by being yourself. Like this, it's amazing. Why would you not give yourself the opportunity to be yourself with someone? Like, that's so cool. Number 19, which is you probably don't need a PhD to get where you want to be. You definitely need a PhD to do academia. You definitely need it to do some research roles, like postdoctoral roles. You won't need it for a lot of jobs. Like, honestly, a master's is usually enough these days. However, if you do have a special interest and you want to study it in depth and you really want to go for it, maybe you want to do consulting one day, or you want to be someone who is very knowledgeable in the field, absolutely go for a PhD. Like, it's also very rewarding to be called doctor at an airport. Like, I still can't go over that, that's amazing. Number 20 is things always get better. Like, no matter how difficult things are in the moment, and no matter how impossible it feels that anything will ever move on from this state, I can absolutely guarantee you that it will move on. One day you're going to look back and realize how far you've come. I hope with that whoever is in their 20s found this useful. If you're not in your 20s, please do give us some tips. Give your 30-year-olds some tips as well, because I need them right now. Thank you so much for listening to this video, and if you've been following along, you'll notice that Bluey the whale is now entirely blue. I'm gonna go off camera and work on the rest. Lily's here. Lily, say hello. Lily, how do you feel today? Yeah, she's evaluating our work. What do you think? Do you think it's too much blue? It's possible, yeah. For the oh god. She's okay, as always. Thank you for being here, and I will end this by saying I did not use any of this water in this jug.
Going through the motions, I'm dreaming of the ocean.